One of the nice things about RPI is that we get to pull from all of our expertise and bring them together. So I'm not a data scientist, I'm not a computer scientist, but we're looking at brand new Mars data on the campfire and doing data analytics on it that have never been done before, that even NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory isn't doing. And this just sort of happened over a conversation at lunch. And that's the cool part about RPI.
Welcome back to Crashing the Faculty Lounge podcast. I'm your host, John Wexler, Vice President of Enrollment Management at RPI, and today we are continuing our conversation with Dr. Karyn Rogers, Associate Professor and Director of the Rensselaer Astrobiology Research and Education Center. Last time we spoke about Dr. Rogers' research, her astrobiology minor, and the exciting collaboration between NASA and RPI. This week, Dr. Rogers talks more about student research taking place at RPI, including her involvement in unique space research, the benefits of having the new quantum computer on campus, and more. All of this is coming up on Crashing the Faculty Lounge. As you're aware, and most of our students out there and parents are aware, RPI just unveiled the first quantum computer on any campus in the United States. Can you discuss how this will assist teaching and research in your area and what excites you about it?
Yeah, I have to say this is just such an exciting time to be doing things that are computational. I will show my age a little bit. When I was in graduate school, I was coding in Fortran. And so the idea of having a quantum computer to play with is really, it's just sort of beyond what I could have ever dreamed of when I was coming up as a student. But I think one of the ways we can apply it to study of origins of life is by looking at these really small scale molecular dynamic interactions, right? There are some molecular dynamic models out there, but the level of complexity and speed that we need to really understand those sorts of models and those sorts of chemistries that could have happened on really complex early Earth environments is something that we haven't been able to do yet. And so I think, and I'm not the quantum expert. No. I mean, I'm a Fortran coder, right. So I'm definitely not the quantum expert. But I think that having this available, this sort of resource available, is going to open up the sort of world of computational chemistry and computational geology and really push the boundaries of what we can do for origins of life.
And so the great part about it, and as President Schmidt says, nobody owns that computer.
That's right.
It's a university-wide. It's not a department. It's not a school. And that one of the questions I get coming off the road and talking with admitted students is that they will be able to access it through, obviously, academic. They can't play Fortnite on it. But they can work with the departments and access it, which is rare. Yes. In higher education, and especially at a research school, to have that much commitment to the undergrads.
Yeah. And there are already undergraduate students, right, working on it. And even before we got it, they were sort of pre-designing projects to do on it. So it really is, I think it's a testament to RPI, how, our campus is not just open to the students, it exists for the students. Right. And that's how all of us think about RPI. And, we're just excited.
Yeah. You've talked a little bit about it, but tell me what you enjoy most about working with the students at RPI.
Oh my goodness. So the students here, they're my inspiration. You've sort of heard my resume. I've been in a lot of places.
Sure.
The students here, they're special in a way that's really hard to describe to the outside world, but their sort of dedication, their motivation, their creativity is one of the things I really like. One of these students who is presenting his poster next week designed a brand new high temperature, high pressure chamber. Designed it on his own. He's an engineer. We had a problem. He came back with a design. So this wasn't just a student following some protocol or doing something we told him to do. This was his creative idea. And that's the thing about RPI students is they like to be inventors of new ideas, inventors of new things. They like to push the boundaries, and they're really, really good at it. I mean, really good at it. We have some just amazing, phenomenal students. I feel really lucky to work here. I really do.
That's cool. In your department, where do you see the growth taking place in the field in general, and then at Rensselaer in your area over the next 4 or 5 years? So the reason I ask that is students coming in now, what can they look forward to? We talked about, they're being able to come in and be on the ground floor of the quantum computer, which is incredibly exciting. But what else is going on that they're basically coming in either at a midway point or, that they'll be able to be at the point of the next level when they come in?
Yeah, I think one of the things that RPAI does so well is that we are, and I think we always have been, at the forefront of interdisciplinary science and engineering. Mm-hmm. I mean, interdisciplinary science, engineering, architecture, business, HOS. I mean, we really do have, I would say, not just low walls, but no walls at all. Mm-hmm. And we build partnerships across disciplines. And if you look out into the world right now, that's really where the jobs are people who can sort of work across disciplines and who can also work across languages, right? Mm-hmm. Biologists need to be able to talk to chemists and geologists and engineers, and we all need to understand each other. And that's what RPI does really well. And so looking ahead, I can just imagine what we could see, right? So in Earth system science, I think we're really looking at a future where sustainability is going to be the hallmark of every institution out there, right? It doesn't sort of matter if you're a manufacturing institution or IBM, you're really going to have to think about sustainability in the long run. And so from an environmental sciences perspective, I think that's where we're going. Now, if you sort of backpedal and look at what I've been doing in astrobiology, this is a really great time to be in space science, right? So we have NASA partnering with, Japan and the European Space Agency, and we're sending new missions to the outer solar system and beyond. This is just more exciting than we can sort of imagine. And they're partnering with private institutions as well, right? And so I work with NASA on trying to understand the best way to get samples back from Mars as part of this Mars sample return, which missions we might want to consider and which other planets and moons we want to go to next. And all of this requires a really skilled workforce, and that's engineers and computer programmers and scientists all working together. There's currently sort of not enough of people in sort of space science, technology, and science and engineering out there. And so if we can build that here at Rensselaer, we really have quite an opportunity going forward, because NASA and the public-private and the other European partnerships are just going to grow.
So there's more demand than there is supply.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
That's great. As you can hear, there are a lot of great things taking place at Rensselaer. Rensselaer is located in Troy, New York, and our admissions office is open 6 days a week for visits. We'd love to have you come and visit and experience all this for yourself. To do so, you can go to go.rpi.edu/visit. To register to come to campus for a visit, go.rpi.edu/visit. What haven't I talked about that you think is important for the Rensselaer community, incoming students to know about when they come?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's exciting that we haven't even gotten to yet is some of the other stuff that we do in the Rare Center, right? And so we study certainly the origin of life, and we have all of these experimental systems, but we also are pretty broad in that. And so we work with NASA. We're primarily funded by NASA, but we have really strong ties with the Carnegie Institution for Science down in Washington, D.C. And there are a lot of mission scientists and people who work on NASA missions. And then in addition to that, even here on campus, and you'll see I'm part of IDEA, but we have recently just launched a new project trying to understand Mars rover data on the IDEA campfire. And so one of the nice things about RPI is that we get to pull from all of our expertise and bring them together. So I'm not a data scientist, I'm not a computer scientist, but we're looking at brand new Mars data on the campfire and doing data analytics on it that have never been done before, that even NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory isn't doing. And this just sort of happened over a conversation at lunch.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part about RPI.
So, and you make a great point, which I haven't brought up. Talk about the campfire. Obviously, we're on a podcast, so we don't have video per se, and maybe we'll add some to it. But talk about the campfire and the uniqueness of that and how it goes across disciplines.
Yeah, the campfire is this. It's hard to describe this platform. It is both a computational and a visualization platform. And so for those of you who are out there who can't see me waving my hands about, there is a circular sort of floor to the campfire, and then it sort of has circular walls. And so it's kind of a short cylinder. And on this sort of cylinder, what you have projected is both images and a computational base, right? And so what we've been able to do, for instance, looking at the Mars rover, is we can follow the path of the Mars rover and the Mars helicopter. We can actually point to all of the sampling sites, and then we can choose any sampling sites and any of the data that have come with those samples, and we can do live analysis on the campfire. And so what that allows is groups of people who don't normally get to sort of think all together, is we get to look at all the data at the same time, ask questions of those data, and get answers in real time. So we can plot any graph, we can sort of group samples any way we want, and try and understand what's going on with the data while also having the visual. And the visual for the campfire for the Mars project is the visuals from Mars, right? So These are pictures of the Martian surface that we're looking at with those sample sites mapped onto it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to do a demonstration for everybody at RPI.
Oh, we'll look forward to that. Well, thank you so much. It's so awesome to hear about all the great things taking place.
This has been great. I'm so excited to do this. Thanks, John.
We'll do it again.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you to Dr. Karyn Rogers for sharing with us all of the exciting research happening here at RPI. Until next time, I'm John Wexler, and this is Crashing the Faculty Lounge.